Let's do another question. This is a great one from a guy who you and I both know, super fan from Mexico. Roy wants to know who has Jeff's favorite feuds and moments in Mexico been with. What are some of your highlights of your experience in Mexico? Your favorite opponents, your favorite matches, your favorite moments, your favorite feuds?
I mean, I can't even begin to have the conversation without my early ones, with it being Latin Lover. I'll never forget Pena kind of describing it to him, and his English wasn't the best, and so we had to, kind of work with translation and all that. But he had me win Ray to Rays, and that was we're going back 20 years, so I'm late 30s. He was a big. He was special to me. So Latin Lovers right at the top. Uh, I like working with L.A. Park, the original, but La Parca, who passed away. I had a lot of entertaining high spots with him in matches, if you will, and that era, 2010, 11, 12, wherever that was, when we were in a lot of ways at our hottest as far as being heels. There was a I don't want to say any one particular, just that whole era. And then at the end of the day, all the moments in a lot of ways have been centered around either Conan's creative or actually on screen when he's bilingual and he can do a promo for literally both guys or four or five folks in the ring at the same time and get the story across. Very, very, very powerful storyteller. So the feuds with him, me and Karen in Tijuana, taking the 619 together is probably right at the top. Ray hitting both of us at the same time might be the single most as we live in the age of clips. That was a fun clip, man. There's too many. I am very grateful that I've had that 20-year career in Mexico because it's special. It's a different market. You have to understand the culture. You get over in a different kind of mindset, and the success we've had there is something that I take not only grateful but with a lot of pride.
Let's do another one here. This one is from WrestleManiac. When GFW was founded, ideally at the time, where did you hope and envision the brand to land on what network? Did a network deal ever come close to fruition? I know we've talked about this a little bit in the archives, but talk to us a little bit about what the goal was with GFW. That was, gosh, just over 10 years ago now.
That's crazy. WrestleManiac, and we have covered this in the archives, and there's some deep dives on that. But at the end of the day, it was to get a network deal. We were under a holding deal to Fox, and that was something and that was we signed that deal, and not, I don't know, 2 months or three. I think it was what was it, a 9 month deal, and probably 2 months into that is when Anthem came calling. So at the end of 2017, and it ran through at least 6 months into 2018. So yeah, maybe. And anyway, so Fox was they were well, obviously we know where it ended up with SmackDown, but they were taking a very, very hard look at professional wrestling that early. Kevin Riley hadn't had the job at Turner less than a year. When I partnered with Arthur Smith, A. Smith, folks will know them as American Ninja Warrior, Hell's Kitchen, and a bunch of other successful shows. Um, super successful production company. Ninja Warrior is something that they took, and it took them 7 years to kind of move the chess pieces around and get that to where it was. And then that thing has made a fortune. But Arthur had a vision. When we got together, we worked really well together, and he had a game plan, and he dealt in Hollywood. And I mean, we had meetings with all of them, the Turner groups, AMC, obviously, it was, and I think we've covered this. Yeah, got called back to early in our conversations. Got called back to the Viacom offices. I'm trying to think. Yeah, were they still Spike? Anyway, had those conversations, had conversations with them all. So the hope was to get a network deal. And again, timing, financing, just wasn't part of it. But when Fox said, we had a meeting, and there was 15 people in the room with all the powers that be. And when we left, I felt real good about it. Arthur felt real good about it. And by the time I got to, it was 24 hours. They had contacted me and Arthur by email and said, hey, we're going to put you guys under a holding deal. And so we were super optimistic. Then Anthem came, went with that deal, and kind of had that on the back burner because the holding deal wasn't a promise. Arthur was like, you got to do what's best. So anyway, at the end of the day, a network deal that never got across the finish line for a number of reasons, probably first and foremost, financing of it.
Jeffrey Buchanan has a great question. He wants to know if Jeff started a farm with Satnam Singh, Jay Lethal, and Sanjay Dutt, what would they grow?
Oh my gosh, a lot of food. Have you ever seen a 440-pound man eat? What would we grow? I think we would have a full-on. Got to be careful about cows, but no, I think we would have a full-on chickens, cows, maybe a few pigs, corn. I don't know if we grow wheat, but beans. We'd have a heck of a garden. It'd be a full 360 buffet, if you will.
Is it legal in Tennessee yet? Some cash crops? Could you grow some cash crops?
You know what? I'm not the one to ask. That's a good. Well, heck, you live close to the border. Is it?
I don't know. I don't partake in such.
Okay, so I don't know. I really don't.
Cody Crybaby Hayes, friend of the show, wants to know, we know Jeff Jarrett is a master of the guitar. However, if he was to put a real life band together, who would be in it? Drummer, lead singer, bass player, and 2 guitars. So listen, if we're going to use wrestling people, who would your singer be? Would that be Chris Jericho?
Okay, so
somebody else in wrestling?
So we got to put together. Oh yeah, so lead singer would be my man Road Dogg.
Okay, Road Dogg's the lead singer.
Without question. Without question.
So if you're on one guitar, who's on another?
I think you got to go with Frankie Kazarian in bass. I think he plays the bass in real life. Drummer, you know who I'm going with? You're gonna maybe chuckle at this. You know who I put on drummer? The Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. He's a drumming tool.
Okay.
And guess what? Kira is following in the footsteps. She can play guitar, drums. So drummer, lead singer, bass player.
How random is it that Kurt Angle is a wrestling machine and also plays drums?
Conrad, I think I've told you this story, right?
Yeah, you had the party in the back, and
all of a sudden,
the band was set up there, and then he just made his way over and just showed out in front of everybody, and nobody knew it was him.
Yeah, and the band started playing in with him, and I'm on the other side by the grill, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Who knew?
Who would have thought? Yes.